It looks okay. It looks like it should be fine. Okay. Definitely better than it was before. Before it was super shit. So, one of the things I'm dealing with, it's really frustrating, is how glossy my Agrax Earthshade is drying. It's not nearly as bad after I fixed it. So the boots I did post fix. So it's not nearly as glossy, but it's still glossy. I'm not trying to make it shiny. I want it to make it dirty. I want it to make it extra matte. So you can see like his beard, there's no shine on it. And, like nothing else has any shine on it. Black does a little bit. Sometimes there's some shine. Like these solid colors even have a little bit of shine. But not like, look at the shine on this compared to this. Right? This shine is actually more than this shine. This one is supposed to be the dirty one. So that feels pretty unacceptable to me. Which unfortunately, the only solution is to repaint the boots. Which I don't know if anyone was here for that before, but man, it took a lot of steps to repaint the boots. So the boots might turn out not quite as well as I want them to because I've got to basically repaint them all with a red. I don't really want to go that red on the boots, but at this point, I don't have like a good alternative because it's just too shiny. Let's start instead of the boots. Let's start somewhere where I want to kill myself less. Sorry, in a video game, obviously. So I'm going to be painting like here. This is in Serenia. Start by. Oh. Just coming off kind of a weird color. Why is this red not red? Red is not the kind of red that I expected it to be. What I think it should be. It's making me think that that's not even red. I think that's the wrong red. Which is kind of shitty and embarrassing. Let's try again. This is, I had like the base red color on it, which is not at all it. I think you'll see in a second how much different it is. It's yeah, so much different. Totally different color. Which is fine. Just gotta highlight it anyway. We just basically need to take this and like make it matte colors again. And then I'm going to make a custom wash. I was going to just use the Agrax Earthshade, which is like a really, usually a pretty good wash for like dirt, and has a little bit of those like reddish hues in them, so usually comes off really nice and makes it nice and grimy. But I guess my Agrax Earthshade, to be fair, is a couple years old, and it was drying. It's drying really glossy and making everything look like a cartoon. And yeah, it's obviously it's a bad thing. So kind of just I just have to go back over all of that, which sucks. Just to like rematte it, make it matte colors. And then I'll take like some Rhinox hide, which is pretty dark but a little bit reddish brown. I'll use the Rhinox hide to add the grime layers, which should really keep it sort of matte but still give it the grime that I'm looking for. Because I love the grime that was added with the Agrax, but I just cannot stand the gloss. It's just not okay for me. Not okay. Not one little bit. All right. And this thigh piece too. It's too glossy. It's all too glossy. It's so frustrating. They did like multiple shade layers, and so to have to just paint over it with like the brightest possible color is really frustrating. Because basically my other option is to start back at the base coat and work my way back up, and that is an ungodly amount of work. So, not that I'm like opposed to working or anything. It's just, damn, after putting so much effort into it, having to put all of the same effort back into it is really daunting and not something I'm trying to do. I'm hoping with these legs be able to leave the contrast in by just hitting the highlights, and it'll be enough to take the shine out, because there's not too much shine on the ankle guards here. So if I do something like that, once it dries, the shine of the Agrax should hopefully be gone or close to gone. But we'll still have darker areas instead of it just being all bright, stupid red. But honestly, I'm not gonna know until I do it. Just the way that Agrax Earthshade dried, I did not expect that at all. And it sucks because it's the second time. Like maybe I should have known better. The Agrax wasn't working the first time, and I read about a way to fix it, so I tried to fix it that way, and then it to be fair, it fixed it a lot. but it didn't fix it all the way. And so it left me, so then when I did a whole nother section on the feet, it left me underwhelmed. I do like a light coat even over the darker areas. You should still be able to see the darkness through it. But it should take away the shine. Is this even in camera? Yeah, it is. When you put it on, it looks really bright. It always dries a lot darker than it looks when you put it on. You're putting on like pretty thin shades. It's fairly watery. You don't want to like gunk it and cake it with paint. So when there's really dark colors underneath, even if you hit it all with a highlight color, there's gonna be still a lot of tone underneath it's shining through that highlight color. But yeah, again, the goal here isn't, you don't want to wipe out the tone. I want to save the tone. The goal here is to get rid of the matte, or get rid of the shine and the gloss. Restore the matte color, and then reshade it with like a Ronox hide or a sort of a custom shade color that I know will be matte, because they'll be my actual paints, so I don't get stuck with this stupid shiny boots on an ogre that stomps around mud. It's fucking dumb. Really annoying. Really pissing me off. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm trying to leave like the darker sections darker and only really touch the highlights and just cover it enough that it doesn't, that we stop having a glaze on our ankles. He's not wearing plastic boots. At this point, I think we made it all the way around. Just want to check to make sure there isn't any remaining like super offensive shiny parts that I missed. Okay, that looks a lot better. It's much more like monochrome right now. This has got some shine on it right here, but that'll dampen down once we shade it. I'm not super concerned. All right, we'll do the same thing to the other one. This kind of one looks just like a big solid red piece because there's no folds in it or anything to give it a sort of sense of depth. I'll have to create it with the shade. This isn't as bad as I was concerned it would be, though. I thought I was going to feel like I was caking it in red and it was going to come out poorly, but the darkness underneath of it is really still shining through, which is nice. It's good to see, to know that I'm not losing all that work that I put into going with a brown into a dark brownish red and then lifting the color up even higher to like an actual red. I didn't want to like lose all that by going back over this with just red and just turning everything that I did, like all those 3 shades and of darkness and light, into just like one big. Well, now it's just red. It looks like it's keeping a lot of the undercolors pretty well, which is very relieving, I won't lie. At least when it's drying it is. When it goes on it looks pretty red, but everything always looks a lot brighter when you first put it on than it is later. And sort of when it dries, it sort of settles in. The colors underneath of it shine through and get a much better sense of what it's going to look like. Sometimes it actually can make it really hard to paint because you have to kind of imagine when you're painting. It's just a kind of habit. You get used to, like, okay, this looks oversaturated, but if you put like a proper undercoat on, just knowing that it's not actually oversaturated, that it will calm down. One of the many things I'm still learning. I'm also happy that it's going pretty quickly. I always have this fear that it's going to be like, I'm going to have to repaint this. And I think about all the shade layers that I did and like the planning that I did before I painted it, and I think it's going to take that long, and then I have to remember that like I've already done all the hard work, really. I'm just kind of adding another little coat, tamping down the matte or the shine, and it's all gonna be okay. I think in this case, like I said before, I'm actually very pleasantly surprised with this outcome so far. Don't want to get ahead of myself, but much more matte, even wet. It looks less shiny than it did. You can still see some dark areas, and those will obviously be accentuated later, but much better. While we're in the red, I'll make sure we get all the little edges of this stuff that I had missed earlier. I guess I hadn't gone all the way up. That's why. Oh, that's why I was using this other red instead of this. Now I understand. I was still on like a, still doing something different. Okay. Try not to get stuff on the gold here, but that's a big ask. I'm sure when I go back and look at it with my little microscope eyes, I will see all kinds of shit that I did wrong, to put it bluntly. I don't know how much I'm on. I'm in the camera here, but it is surprisingly hard to paint on camera. Every little natural movement you would use to get to something better, you have to like think about. Be like, is this going to be on camera? Just touch these highlights again. Okay. We'll see a little bit of shine coming through this one. I think some of that's the other colors as well. Oh no, I did the arms too with the Igrex. Look how shit that came out. Ugh, so disappointing. Some of it's like really heavy. That is such a bummer. I'm gonna just throw my Agrax out so I never use it again by accident. Buy some new Agrax. Because damn, this result is terrible. Oh, I don't think this arm is in camera. There we go. So disappointing to have to paint all this again. I know it's not that much work. Trying to be positive and not get too frustrated. But man. Just already put a ton of time into this guy. But almost all of it. Did I do this arm too? I did this arm too. Look at this shine. Oh man. Just kind of trying to dab it, keep it wet, not do a heavy cover. And honestly, right now, I'm just trying not to be mad. I know that sounds bad, but like, painting is usually a very happy place for me. And I have ADHD pretty bad. And it's gotten worse. Painting is like one of the few things where my brain just kind of shuts off and I just paint and enjoy it and have fun. I'm not on camera at all. I just paint and enjoy it and have fun. But so I think it's extra frustrating right now when I'm in a place that's usually like my happy place and I'm fucking annoyed. Not gonna lie, just fucking annoyed. I can tell I'm being annoyed too because I'm going really fast. I'm being a little sloppy. I'm making some mistakes that I know I'm gonna have to clean up later. That is not usually how I paint. I usually go nice and slow. Don't stress about how long it's taking me. The good news is the silver lining here is that I put almost exactly the amount of red that I needed, which is very unusual. I almost always have some sitting on my palette, and sometimes I get to use it, and sometimes it goes to waste. So it's nice that that's one good silver lining and say, hey, at least I did something right. I put the right amount of red on it. Look how much less shiny that is already. Again, it's still wet paint, so it's a little shiny, but man, already infinitely better. I think we owe it to ourselves while we're at it. Try and paint this yellow again as well. Since we're already here, right? Since we've already come this far, might as well get rid of all of the shine at once. And that looks so yellow. This is part of the reason I needed to dirty it up. When it's just yellow like that, like yellow is one of those colors that unless you're painting like, unless you're trying to like replicate an actual like street sign, yellow can almost never be painted without some sort of color dampener afterwards. Is just wildly bright, no matter what shade you use, really. I'm of course talking about the way that I paint. Some people paint very bright colors, and obviously like some people like sorcerers and paint all kinds of different things. They want all kinds of different stuff. And obviously when you're painting like gold, when I was painting this, bright yellows and whites are really important to get it to look like it's shining. But like yellow cloth like this just looks wildly yellow, in my opinion. Looks like a literal clown costume. Alright, so ironically, some of this stuff is supposed to be yellow and some of it's supposed to be brown. I have not yet planned it to see which is which. But, do that now, I guess. Well, all the black is going to be brown, so maybe all the brown is supposed to be yellow. Which, that's a lot of yellow in the back, but I think we're okay with that. I just don't know if I have enough yellow on my palette. So maybe I'll just paint until I run out of yellow, and we'll call it. This is a huge yellow piece back here. But yeah, these undercoats are kind of what I was talking about. Like, for example, once this yellow starts to dry, you'll see very clearly the undercoat of brown will really shine through. And then the places that I put more yellow on will become highlights. The places that have less yellow will become the darker areas. So I went like the tops, the parts that aren't shaded, be more covered. I'll probably go over this with another coat later before I shade it. So I want it to be a lot more solidly yellow than this. Creates kind of like a ripple effect, like a clothing effect. Maybe I have enough paint to do one more square. I probably have to call it. I'm really stretching this paint thin at this point. Trying to pull every little bit off my palette. It's gonna be so thin, it's not gonna cover that well. Looks good now, but when it dries, it'll be just like a yellowish brown. That slopped over a little bit. I don't like that. Touch that up. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting. I don't really play Warhammer, so I've been thinking about getting a getting like a 3D printer, so I can do more than just Warhammer figurines and not pay like so much money all the time for new figures, and also just have like a diversity of like being able to print whatever I can find online. It'd be really fun, I think. Right now I have a backlog of Warhammer figurines that I have to paint, so I'm not really in a rush to do so. But yeah, so this will be yellow. This under one will be yellow. This will be yellow. This will be yellow. This will be yellow. And all the black will be brown. And that's supposed to be yellow. I don't have enough though. I don't have enough. Okay, either way, this got the shine mostly off. Except for this middle piece here. Which, it's okay. That's a different color, so I have to paint that anyway. Looks like we mostly fixed the shine problem. Next time, we'll finish the yellow patches. Yeah, next time we can finish the yellow patches. And then do the brown patches. And then shade them. And we'll have the whole tarp done and the legs done. Once we do that, there's still even some shine left in those dark recesses for the Agrax. Yeah, there's still some shine left in those dark recesses. So hopefully, once we do that and we redo it, we'll be in a better place to move forward. It is time for me now, though, to go and get some work done. Again, thanks to everybody who hung out and who joined me for the stream. And somebody anonymous gifted a sub to Woody Pro. Whoever that was super awesome. Thank you. And yeah, that was cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.